Hi everyone, this is your Young People's Love Tap video. My childhood is or was terrible. This is really sad, extremely tragic, heartbreaking on every level, and at the same time, this is extremely common. The research tells us that between 70 to 96% of American families fall under the umbrella of dysfunctional. Now, there are different levels of being a dysfunctional family, but what that means is that the majority of young people, in America at least, are growing up in a very or somewhat dysfunctional family. And that's the type of thing that leaves young people wounded and feeling unloved or unlovable. And this whole subject falls under the umbrella of emotional pain. And in a couple seconds here, or a minute, I'm going to give you some tips because we want you to have a happy and powerful life. And if you are feeling that your childhood is or was terrible, it's time for some actions. It's time for healing. It's time for a number of things. And before I get into the tip section, you might, so this is emotional pain. If you have a terrible childhood, currently or past, that's painful. And sometimes, since we're not good at emotional pain, you have to grieve a loss. So if you're currently in a childhood that's unhappy, the loss is, or the thing to grieve is that you're not having a happy childhood. However, I do have news for you because you've reached the happiness channel, and I'm going to give you some ideas of things to do to start to become happy and happier and then really happy, even though your childhood is terrible. And if it was terrible, it's time for you to get to work so that you create a bright future, because you don't want to take this pain and this loss into your future. You want to be freed up to have a happy and powerful life. So we want to get to work on dealing with this terrible childhood. And I want to make sure that you ditch any shame or embarrassment. This is not your fault. You didn't cause it. I don't care who tells you what or blames you. This is not your fault. You're a young person. I don't care what happened. Parents are the ones who are supposed to manage and maintain things for their young people, things for their children, so that they have the happiest childhood that they can. And there's things like poverty and things that are not controllable that can leave you with a terrible childhood, but you could be very poor and still have a happy childhood. So they're not mutually exclusive. All right, so I want to get into the tips because I want you to have a very happy, powerful life. So you're going to want to get under this umbrella called growth and development. It's where all the good stuff is, people. And this growth and development is going to give you access to healing. Because if you are in a terrible childhood or you had a terrible childhood, healing is one of the things that you want to put on your list to heal from. Because otherwise you're carrying around your wounds and your baggage and your trust issues and all kinds of stuff. No, we want you developing habits and practices and skills that are going to help you be happy and heal your heart from things that were terrible in your childhood. So the overall arching umbrella is growth and development. It's very cool, people, I have to tell you. The next thing I want you to do, put on your list, is to be well loved. If you are in or had a terrible childhood, it's extremely likely, very predictable, almost guaranteed, but not quite, that you don't feel well loved. And that in and of itself is tragic. Now, I have a whole video called Be Well Loved, and I want you to watch that, okay? Because this is so important. If you do nothing else in your life, you want to make sure that you're well loved. And I'm going to give you some tips here to help support this be well loved thing, because it's very cool. So we're under growth and development. You're going to put on your list to be well loved. Oh, that's cool. I know you can't wait to watch that video. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to work on growing your emotional abilities. Because part of the reason that you had a terrible childhood is most likely, or at least a contributing factor, is that your parents or whoever were your caregivers didn't have great emotional abilities. That is a pervasive problem in society, in the world, all over the place. So you want to get those skills because you want to be in the driver's seat of your emotions. You don't want to be at the whim of your emotions. And that includes anger, includes sadness, it includes grieving a loss, grieving the childhood you didn't have. All of those things are topics I have videos on, so there's tons of videos for you to watch. But you're going to want to grow your emotional abilities, because this is including emotional pain, which this is, because that's really helpful. It's extremely powerful in life to be able to not just identify, but then manage and process your emotions. These are like superpowers, people. The things that are going to help you while you're doing what I just said is self-care and self-compassion. Very cool things. I have videos on each of them, blog posts on each of them, so there's plenty of material to support you. But you've got to start to get to be feeling better, because if you had a terrible childhood, current or past, that doesn't feel good. We need to boost your happiness, boost how you feel about yourself. Self-care and self-compassion will help you. The other thing you absolutely must have in life, even if you had a great childhood, you want to have really great friends. Now, I have, 7 or so videos about making friends, because A, it's hard. B, most people of all ages, if they're honest, will tell you they really don't have enough friends, or they don't have enough really good friends, or their friends aren't local, or what have you. So there's a bunch of videos about making and having friends, including big no-nos. You want to look at that. But you want to have really great friends in your life, because that's going to go under and support one of the earlier goals, which was to be well loved. Because if you had a terrible childhood, you might have some family issues. I have some dysfunctional family videos you might want to watch. But friends can really help you be well loved. They can help you heal. They can help you grow and develop. Obviously, if you're having friends, you should be having fun with them. So friends are really important. And you want to have friends that have character and integrity. And you want to be a person of character and integrity. And I have a video about character and integrity, and a video about just integrity, because integrity is magical. I'm telling you. The other thing that's going to help you while you're on this journey to healing from your terrible childhood, growing all these fabulous skills so you can have this great, amazing, rich life where you're happy, is to learn some basic psychology concepts. That can be super powerful. It's also interesting, in my opinion. But you can use basic psychology concepts to help boost your life, recognize what's going on. There's so many benefits. I have a little video with some basic psychology concepts and a separate video on the self-fulfilling prophecy. That's very worthwhile, people. That will kind of power up your life. The other thing that's going to help you is I want you to start setting some goals. Little goals, medium-sized goals, big goals. I'm just happy if you'll set a goal or create a life plan, because that's when you set a goal and then you're going to take the actions to achieve that goal. That's going to help you feel better and boost your confidence and help you feel successful. So you definitely want to set some goals and start taking actions. Now, if you look at everything that I've already suggested under this tip section, there's plenty to go to work on. You could set a goal in self-care. You could set a goal in self-compassion, where you're taming that inner critic, getting that down to a dull roar. The other thing that's going to be helpful is for you to ask for help and talk to people. If people started talking about their terrible childhoods, everybody would go, wow, oh, wait, you had a good childhood? Woo, you're like one in 100. So talk to people and get support. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have this happy, brilliant, exciting, vibrant future, and you want to break the cycle. You don't want to be creating the same terribleness in your family with children you have, if you have children. And so growth and development, getting these skills, habits, practices, attitudes, and beliefs is the way to break this cycle, because you don't want to have children that have a terrible childhood. This is about healing. It's about love. It's about you being well loved, even though you might not feel that way if you had a terrible childhood or are in a terrible childhood. So I hope that's been helpful. Please let me know how I can help you, because I really want you to be well loved and I really want you to have a great life. And that's possible. Just got to get in action. All right, take care.